You guys, there is some Twitter beef going on between Nicki Minaj and SZA. So, Nicki Minaj had tweeted basically saying that the manager from TDE Punch was basically harassing her, and this manager just so happens to be SZA's manager. So, Nicki Minaj tweeted and said, "So glad I have proof of being bullied and being lied on by a man publicly on a platform I use for my job after I rejected his business proposition on more than one occasion. He failed to disclose to the public that I had rejected his business propositions and thereby acted in what appears to be retaliation purposefully used to cause financial damages and to engage in a smear campaign against the brand." Nicki continues and says, "Lol, y'all remember that man from TDE who kept bullying me on Twitter for no reason? We have the receipts, lol. I never even responded to him. What was his name again, y'all? I'm gonna give him a nickname. I'ma call him -3 million from now on." Nicki Minaj ended up posting a picture of him and said, "Me after I suck some good. You know what guarantee you wouldn't fight a man? We have every tweet of your bullying, lying, and more. Your name was added to that is list it draws." She then says same thing that make you laugh and make you know what? She then called him a tiny B executive. SZA chimed in and she said, "Mercury retrograde, don't take the bait. LOL, silly goose." And Nicki Minaj responded and said, "Go draw your freckles back on, bye." Or justice for Demarie. Or deposition Perez. A liar, liar, pants on fire, sounding like a effing dead dog. And SZA responded and said, "I don't give a F about none of that weird issue popping." Nicki Minaj continued and said, "Be looking and sounding like she got stung by effing bee. ... draws on fake freckles." SZA responds and says, "Loud, let me go back to being calm, shy, and meek. You have a blessed night." And Nicki Minaj responds and says, "Shut up, ugly. I'm in a meeting, so I don't know if you was still talking is or not. So if you didn't, I'll delete later. HE." And then next thing you know, Nicki Minaj then tweets and says, "Be damn near broke that man back and leg. Be fat, chubby, and skinny at the same damn time. B word. Where are those 30 million streams that disappeared on Spotify? Like your fake freckles." Botting tweets when you argue is just weird. Just as weird as SZA. Now, of course, people have their different thoughts and opinions on it. I can just say, this was not on my bingo card this year. Okay, Nicki Minaj and SZA getting into it was not on my bingo card. Child, after I took a break, I see Nicki Minaj continue. Now, I'm not gonna read this whole post. If you want to know what she said, you can pause it and read it. But in another tweet, she said, "Be put out a whole album as a deluxe to an already existing album that was out for like a year or two, so the original album could break records. Like, what in the insecure, a lack of morals and integrity? You go, you doing?" I thought she was like a real artist. Girl, bye. Nicki Minaj continues and says, "Be used to be on Twitter, dissing Rihanna, Beyonce, etc. But when it was time to suck you know what and get opportunities from them, she drew them freckles on and got to suck and write allegedly like, be stop being jealous of women who you secretly would kill to be up there behind holes. These men putting batteries in y'all's back and y'all stupid enough to still keep it going. Not peeping that is not gonna end well for them, are you? Buzz off a bumblebeena." So they got a lot going on. Nicki Minaj is still going. So I would like to know you guys' thoughts and opinions on it. Another one? Thank you. Another one? Thank well. Anyways, moving on to the next topic. So it seems like every week Stefon Diggs is out here allegedly cheating on our girl, Cardi B. So this was posted, and it says that Stefon Diggs basically brought his side chick on a private jet. Diggs spending time with his side chick over the weekend. They went to Cowboy Carter in Maryland, then spent time at his Maryland mansion. He made her delete the post exposing that it's the same jet they were on this weekend. So it continues and says he made her delete the dump with a plane showing because it's obvious they're together. It's the exact same plane, but she wasn't quick enough. So, as you guys can see on the left side of Stefon Diggs' post from his Fin-A, and then you can see her post that he made her delete. They also posted and said she posted that sub today, that he belongs to her. They all went to Cowboy Carter. His mother was in attendance, and as you guys can see, her post says disclaimer, I'm big single, but he's still mine. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but if I was Cardi B, I would be tired of these accusations and allegations every week. Like every week or every couple of weeks. Every 2 weeks, there is a new girl, allegedly that's been with Stefon Diggs, and she say that Stefon loves her down. This whole situation is just messy. And I would like to know you guys' thoughts and opinions on this down in the comment section below.
What's happening now? Look, all right. SZA? Like, what the hell does SZA ever do to anybody? Like, literally just opened up Twitter and saw this. Like, what the hell is going on now? First, I assume SZA said Mercury retrograde. Don't take the bait. Oh, silly goose. Don't know what's happening there. If you know, leave it in the comments. If you have common sense and you have respect. Then Nicki Minaj goes, go draw your freckles back on, Buki. Justice for Mary Deposition Perez. Liar pants on fire. Sounded like a fucking dead dog. Ciao. Her response is so funny to me because she's so like weird, like cool, like that weird type of edgy type of cool. So for her to say, I don't give a fuck about none of that weird shit you popping, has me weak. For whatever reason, there's barbs in the replies mocking SZA for having surgery. Mocking SZA for having surgery. My question is, who's next? I honestly thought she was gonna slip and really try to get at Beyonce for real, especially with Jay-Z just performing at her shows in Atlanta, so she's probably even more hot. I'm like, SZA? What the fuck did SZA do?
Mercury retrograde for real, because why is Nicki and SZA going back and forth on Twitter? Mind you, I don't know what's going on today. So I got on Twitter and I just saw SZA tweet like, it's Mercury retrograde, don't take the bait. I promise, I thought it was like a cute little tweet. I said, okay girl, thanks for the heads up. Baby, next thing you know, Nicki gonna tweet and at SZA and say something, go draw your freckles back on Buki. Liar, liar, pants on fire, sounding like a dead dog. What? Nicki! And SZA, she responded back. I read it straight in her voice. Like, honestly, like, I don't know about none of that weird shit you popping. I was just like, what is going on? Like, to come to find out, Nicki is coming at TDE now. Because Nicki tweeted out Tiny Dick Energy, and TDE, if I'm not mistaken, that's Kendrick label. So yeah, then Nicki gonna say some bitch looking like and sounding like a bee, ... Let me draw my freckles back on. And then in the process is she's saying justice for Demore, which is Desiree Perez's daughter. Desiree, she's with Rock Nation. And the daughter is suing the mom for putting cameras in the house, trying to put her in a conservatory. It's just a mess. I really don't know what to say, because Nicki, she's swinging. Like with rings on, I'm just like, y'all stop. Oh my God.
And he's on SZA. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. My money's on SZA. I don't know what's going on with Nicki, but Nicki is popping off on everybody on Twitter. But SZA ain't the one. She went after SZA talking about go draw on your fake ass freckles and shit. Cause SZA's like, we're in retrograde. Don't fall for it. And Nicki ass is crashing out on TDE and then has the nerve to at SZA. SZA was like, bitch, I wasn't even talking about you. I just got off the goddamn stage talk about retrograde. But SZA did say, do you need that? Do you need that? I think SZA will give it to Nicki. The downfall of Young Money needs to be studied. From Lil Wayne throwing a fit that Kendrick got the Super Bowl to Drake getting his ass ate up by Kendrick during this battle. And that shit lasted a whole goddamn year, to the point where Kendrick is now nominated for Emmys for the halftime show Lil Wayne was pissed off about. And Drake and goddamn Europe talk about Europe rappers are better than American rappers. The crash out is real when all his favorite rappers are American and black. So now Nicki crashing out on the goddamn internet. Y'all need to go to therapy. And Nicki, you may want to hush, because I think SZA got hands, and she may mollywop your ass.
Please take away Nicki Minaj's phone. It's time. Hand it over. Give us the phone. It looks like Nicki has just added another person to the long list of people she has beef with, and that's none other than SZA. Earlier today, Nicki posted to Twitter a whole series of tweets about Punch. Now, if you don't know, Punch is the president of TDE, Top Dog Entertainment, which is the label, Y'all know SZA was on that label, Kendrick was on that label, Doechie's currently on that label. Nicki was basically saying in her tweets that she has a ton of proof that he had once bullied her and a ton of other stuff. Well, at some point, SZA goes to Twitter and she tweets the following: Mercury retrograde, ... don't take the bait, LOL, silly goose. Now, obviously, she didn't at anybody, she didn't at Nicki, but a lot of people assumed that this was about Nicki Minaj. And if you don't know, with astrology, Mercury retrograde is known as a time of like a lot of conflict and like a lot of misunderstandings. Nicki did not hesitate and she quote retweeted SZA's tweet and she said, "Go draw your freckles back on Buki, liar liar, pants on fire, sounding like a fucking dead dog." And SZA did not hesitate to hit her back with, "I don't give a fuck about none of that weird shit you poppin'," which I think is just hilarious because truly somebody had to say it. Nicki then also tweeted, "Bitch looking and sounded like she got stung by a fucking bee, ... draws on my fake freckles." Of course, Nicki's fans also got involved. They started defending Nicki, in which, you know, one of them called SZA a mutt, and she said calling a black woman a mutt to defend another black woman is so cooked. And in this tweet below, SZA says, "I wasn't even talking about anybody in specific, like she had just gotten off the stage and she was talking about the retrograde and she said they added me." Anyway, that's all we have for now on this ongoing beef. It's just really sad because Nicki's legacy is unlike anything else, right? Like there will never be another Nicki Minaj. But she has torpedoed that legacy, especially over the last few years, so much. She has done herself no favors. And I think somebody in her team really needs to tell her, like, babes, it's time to log off. Let's talk about it in the comments, y'all.